What's up guys? So I was going to make a video with a follower. We're going to have a bit of back and forth on compound interest, but he's asleep and I'm tired, so I'm just going to make this video solo. So this video is about compound interest, and if you're young, this is your best friend. This is probably the most important video that you're ever going to see in your life in terms of finance and financial security. I have to make the disclaimer that this is not financial advice. Do not take anything I say seriously. This is for entertainment purposes. Please don't sue me. So the basic premise of an S&P 500 index fund is that you buy a small percentage of stock in the top 500 companies in the US. This is called hedging your bet. It's a lot safer than buying individual stocks, although the returns are often less, but the risk is also a lot less. It's called hedging your bet. So this is how it works. Let's say you have an S&P 500 and Apple goes bankrupt. This does not really affect your total stock portfolio because Apple is only one out of 500 companies. You still have 499 other companies afloat giving you good returns on average. However, if you have individual stocks in Apple and Apple goes under, you lose all your money. So what is a typical compound return on the S&P 500? Well, over the past 30 years, it has returned a compound average of 10.7% per year. This does not mean that every year you'll have 10.7% compound interest. No, some years you may have 20% loss, some years you may have 20% gains, but it works out over 30 years, the 30-year period that has been tracked, to 10.7% per year, which means long term it's going to work in your favor. This is pivotal for our maths equation. So what we'll do is we'll take this 10% figure, we'll give 0.7% the fees each year, and we'll take away 2% for inflation, which leaves us with 8% per year compound interest. And we can see how marvelous this concept actually is. Now we can do some maths. Let's say that you start investing $5,000 per year from 18 to 25. That gives you $35,000 initial investment to put into the stock market at 35. Let's say you want to retire at 65. Your investment will compound each year on average 10% minus 2% for inflation. That's 47 years of compound interest, which will bring you to the grand total of $1.3 million. So that $35,000 initial investment, and you don't put any more investments in over the course of 47 years of compound interest, will generate $1.3 million. Can you guys believe that? Now let's say you waste some years and you only have $35,000 invested at 35, so you only have 30 years of compound interest. What will that bring you to? Using the same metrics, the same interest rate, you have $1 million less. From wasting that 10 years, you have $1 million less, guys. This is how important 10 years is, 25 to 35. And I know there's going to be some victims in the comment section like, how am I supposed to save $5,000 a year, man? I'm a BIPOC, I'm a press dude, come on. And I don't buy it. If you live in a Western country, you can save $5,000 a year working at McDonald's. You have an excuse if you live in a developing country, but come on guys, 5,000. But hey, let's just entertain it, all right? Let's entertain it. Let's say you only have $5,000 invested at 25. That still turns into a lot of money. Let's see. Let's take the same interest rate, the same retirement age. $5,000 invested at 25 turns into $186,000, almost $200,000. Guys, you need to have that $5,000 invested by 25. So let's do the same. You invest $5,000 at 35, so only 30 years of compound interest. That turns into $50,000. So by wasting those 10 years, you've lost out on more than 100 grand. But hey, if you're 35, then it's still worth to invest 5,000 because 50,000 in real money, taking into account inflation, that's still pretty good. Currently, I feel the S&P 500 is overpriced. So if you look at its bottom, 2,300 in March 2020, and it's just continuously gone up to 4,500. I don't think that this is reflective of our economic conditions. I think this is reflective of the fact that basically no one is paying anything besides the stock market right now. Try and get an interest from a bank account, a savings account, you'll be lucky to get 2%. Try and get government bonds, you'll be lucky to get 2%. So it's my hypothesis that people are just parking their money in the stock market because nowhere else is paying anything. And this is artificially increasing the price, and this isn't really reflective of our economic condition. And I'm not the only one with these suspicions. So this was published by CNBC a few days ago, and there was a monthly poll of September of 550 market professionals worldwide. 58% of respondents are expecting a retreat of 5 to 10%, while 1 in 10 respondents expect a correction of higher than 10%. I think there's personally going to be a higher correction than 10% for the S&P 500, but time will tell. So what I advise is to stay away from the S&P 500 right now. Just save up as much money as you can over the 6 to 12 months and expect to crash. Once it crashes, put everything in you've got and just don't think about it. Don't even look at it. Check it when you're 65 or when you want to retire, and you'll be surprised. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something very important. This is a life lesson that you must take and implement. So if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't have gone to uni in my 18 to 20s. No, I wouldn't. I would have worked at McDonald's. I would have saved up as much money as I could, invested that by 25, and then probably gone to uni after that. I made my money in real estate, and I advise people under the age of 30 not to go into real estate because there's just so much more money to be made in the stock market with such a lower risk and a lower capital investment. So I'm a journalist. I cover race relations, politics, finance. I retired at the age of 29. Now I travel the world. I'm living in Thailand currently. So if you guys like my kind of content, then be sure to come over to Davinsky.com for more exclusive content that is free. We also have an active chat room, which is completely anonymous. So please join. And until next time, folks, peace in the Middle East. End apartheid in Israel. I don't want to get political on this one, but please like and comment. Until next time, peace.